XRP has had a fantastic break to the upside, but in the last couple of days, we have seen some more volatility dragging the price, not just of XRP, but the entire crypto market being pulled back a little way. And well, things on XRP's price action are about to get very interesting. In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the technical analysis on XRP, sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think that price action is heading. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And let's take a look at what's going on here with XRP. So here we have XRP paired up with USDT. We're on the 1 hour Binance chart here. And you can see that we did tap up into this slightly higher range, which was marked at 66.17 to that slightly higher range of 75 cents. Okay, we were actually looking at this more conservative range down here. We saw a bit of a rejection from the upper area, and then we saw this surge upwards afterwards. So in the last video that I put out, or it might have been a couple of days ago, we were really kind of talking about this little area down here. So this was on Sunday, so yeah, a couple of days ago, and we were thinking about a retracement to the upside, but we did break up higher than the previous swing high, and we actually broke higher as well than the 63.1 cent swing high that we had from way back over here in the 24th of August, or on the 24th of August, right? So this was a fantastic break. We saw a retest and then another surge to the upside with some potential more moves up a little bit higher. So it does look like we've had a nice clean breakout, but it also looks to me like we've completed the final fifth wave movement here on this structure. So again, in the diagonal sense, this to me looks like an expanding diagonal based pattern, and you can kind of see that if I draw in a couple of trend lines just to kind of give you the idea of what that looks like. You can see it kind of expands out almost like a megaphone pattern, and it reached those upper areas of expectation. So since we hit those highs, specifically this high just here, this one was on the 1500 hours on Sunday. That high came in at 66.49 cents. Since then, we have seen a bit of a pull to the downside in line with the rest of the crypto market. This move to the downside currently is looking for support on that 200 EMA with resistance on the 50 EMA. And so interesting on that 1 hour time frame. Now, when we take a look at this, there's a lot to kind of unpack. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this down into a 15-minute time frame just so that we can see these patterns as to kind of what's going on. So the first thing that I want to kind of point out is we have this idea that there's a 5-wave drop going on in here. This potential move is an interesting one, so we want to kind of do some due diligence on that. We want to check to see whether we do have those kind of requirements being hit for that kind of impulsive breakdown, which is not necessarily impulsive here, but we can see that our wave 3 is shorter than the wave 1, and our wave 5 is shorter than the wave 3. So it's actually a contracting diagonal move, in my opinion there, which basically, unlike the megaphone pattern that we have, this one actually contracts in, and I'm going to go ahead and draw that in there so you can kind of see that that kind of goes in rather than out. And so wave 1's the longest wave, wave 3 can't be the shortest wave, but wave 5 is the shortest wave. We move up and then we break on down. The reason for this is very interesting. So if we take this structure and we move this over to our swing high that we have over here, you can see that we have moved down very aggressively, but we're not yet on the 1.618. So we have here some really interesting patterns. We kind of want to think of this in a couple of different ways, right? So there's the corrective structure, which is one of what the bulls are going to be looking for, I'm hoping for, which is that you have a 1, 2, 3 structure like this, and then you have a quick correction to the upside, and then that is followed essentially by another ABC structure like so, and they call it a double zigzag like that, meaning that the bottom is in down here. Okay, so that's what the bulls kind of hope for, with the bottom coming in at 60.88 cent. But with resistance here on the 15-minute 200 EMA, we could potentially see something different occur. But you know, it's an interesting kind of pattern and idea. That's what the bulls are going to hope for. The bottom has already been found. The bears, on the other hand, are going to be looking at this saying, okay, actually, there's a possible scenario here where we're actually nesting in a bigger impulsive structure, and that 60.88 is going to get lost. So we can't rule out either option just yet, but it's important that we understand that those two things are in play and what is going on our 1 hour time frame here. Okay, so with everything going on, we want to kind of keep that in mind. Now, with rejection on the 50 50 EMA here and an overbought stochastic RSI, I do think we are likely to see a bit of a turn in the market to the downside. We saw a bit of an overreaction in the market yesterday, but again, a lot of this stuff is expected when we kind of talk about the Federal Reserve interest rates, the pivot that we saw last month, and essentially we saw the automatic rally to the upside after that. And yeah, for the most part, we typically do see a pretty large correction in the market. And I think with the Fed talking about more interest rate cuts, it kind of spooks that market a little bit, specifically when they don't give more details, just that if there's going to be more cuts essentially at some point in the future, it makes it harder for the market to plan. So you saw a little bit of a wobble with Bitcoin, and you're seeing something very similar here with XRP. So the hope is that we rally, but the bears, I think, are going to be looking at this rejection of the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, and maybe thinking, actually, yeah, we have a double top situation here up against the resistance, which was a previous resistance over here as well, that we want to be thinking about those short positions. So this is where the idea will come in. We'll probably go for a short stop loss to be probably close to that 50 simple moving average, the yellow line, and then target out 1.5 on the risk reward ratio, which would be right about here. This will be my approach to it. So essentially we'll look for entry right there around 62.43, stop loss at 63.30, and take profit down at 61.12. That'll be my approach to trading on XRP. Of course, if we do get a breakout above, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world above the 50 EMA. We will look for reversal patterns though, where we might be able to come out of the trade should it really see that. But for the most part, I'm looking at rejection here and looking at retesting those existing lows around the 200 EMA. I suspect actually it will come down lower than 60.88, but that'll be my trading kind of thought process when it comes to XRP on the 1 hour time frame. And talking about trading, 𝗕𝗀𝗀𝗃 has some exclusive bonuses up for grabs for the cheeky crypto community using the link in the description down below. They're basically launching campaign 2.0, whale campaign 2.0, where you could win a Model 3, a Tesla Model 3. Now, there's a few different prizes up for grabs here for new signups who basically are just actively trading. So whatever you are trading right now, just trade it on 𝗕𝗀𝗀 and you're going to be in this campaign. So basically, it starts off with an Apple Watch SE. This is basically for trading volume above 3 million. So obviously with leverage, these numbers are not actually that difficult to hit. With trading volume above 15 million, we're talking about a Herman Miller chair. So if you're someone who sits at the desk all the time, that's a fantastic prize up for grabs there. We've got trading volume over 25 million. You're going to be looking at a Canon EOS R5. We have trading volume above 50 million for a travel fund of $5,000. And if you're into your motorcycles, well, there's a fantastic opportunity here for volume above 100 million, a Kawasaki Ninja 650. And of course, the Model 3 down there for 300 million in volume or more. Now, of course, this is on top of the usual $10,000 deposit and trade rewards. Again, this scales up according to your activity and deposit. So deposit $100 all the way through to $20,000. And of course, there's going to be various different amounts of rewards that you can get on that campaign. So basically, by signing up using the link in the description down below and depositing and trading, you're going to be eligible for up to the 10,000. And of course, if you're trading actively and you're getting some decent volumes on there, then of course you're going to be in the whale campaign 2.0 as well with some fantastic deals available. So what are you guys waiting for? Check out the link in the description down below. Sign up to 𝗕𝗀𝗀𝗃. It's a KYC free exchange, and basically start bagging yourself some of these fantastic deals. Okay, let's go ahead and roll this up into a daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, you can see that we did break up into a higher high here on the daily time frame, higher than we were on the swing high that we had on the 24th of August. Okay, this is a pretty big deal, but there is a problem. Okay, so smart money concepts will only tell us that we've had a change of characterization when we close higher than that previous swing high. So at the moment, we are still in the previous structure. We haven't got any major changes. Now, that structure is still bullish. We can see right here, it is still a bullish structure, but we haven't got any confirmation of that because we haven't closed higher than 65.86 cents. Okay, so it's looking good. We have a new higher high here, according to the wicks here. And this is a big breakout from our triangular wedge, right? We were thinking that actually we were going to move down more towards 50 cent before we got this breakout to the upside. However, that's not the case. It does look like there's a potential fake out here going on, and there might be an additional surge to the upside at a later date. And because our target range is, of course, 75 to 85 cents. Okay, that's what we're looking for. This is a little move at the moment, kind of telling us that maybe the structures are holding up, but we still expect a bit more volatility. So looks strong actually on the daily time frame. I was expecting us to kind of break down and retest these lows a little bit more. This move to the upside, specifically above the August swing high, has basically now ruled that is unlikely to happen. Right, there's a higher probability now that we hit the 75 to 85 cents than there is moving down towards 50 cents. So it's a good strong place for XRP to be. Okay, so taking a look at everything, it's looking good. It's looking okay on the daily time frame. The momentum indicator did rally up aggressively and then dropped back down a little bit. It is in a negative position with the yellow line lower than the white line. So essentially the stochastic RSI is lower than the smoothing of K, or the moving average of the stochastic RSI. Essentially that's a bearish cross right now. So potentially we're going to see a little bit more of a dip to the downside before we rally, but that's not a problem on the daily time frame in my opinion. If we turn that off and bring in the divergence indicator, we did tap on those higher ranges. We've dropped down a little bit here, so we are still in the higher ranges. We are still trending to the upside overall, so we're not too concerned about what that looks like. Volume profiles did increase as we started to push up and are decreasing as we're dropping in the most recent couple of days, so looking okay. Everything on XRP is looking actually really quite nice on the daily time frame. So I'm not terribly too concerned about those things, and we are still looking for that breakout. But it's possible, of course, considering this structure does look reasonably complete, and I'm going to go show you what that looks like. Minimum expectations were met. We can 66.85 would be the expectation, and I think we had 66.86, right? No, 66.49. So very close to essentially hitting the typical kind of structure, meaning that we could see a bit of a drop and then a bit of another run to the upside. So for example, we could be looking at something like this, right? We have three waves coming up with a small drop to the downside, find support on something like the 50 EMA, 50 SMA previous support levels, and then rally up to 75 to 85 cents. So that there can then form inside this Y wave structure. So ultimately, XRP is in a pretty reasonable position. I expect maybe to see a little bit of volatility, a retest of the trend line or the 50 EMA, 50 SMAs, which are currently sitting around that kind of 57 cent level. If we do that, then we could potentially be on track for a reset of momentum and a rally to 75 to 85 cents, which will complete our structure here on XRP on this broader kind of level. So looking really nice. Obviously, we are still trading in the ranges here. We've had no major breaks to the upside. So essentially, we've been hitting the low side where we rally. So basically 33.46 to 46.16. And then we basically come up to the higher ranges where we find rejection at 66.15 to 75 cents. This basically has just been ranging between these levels for quite some time. So I don't suspect that's going to change terribly too much, but it's an interesting one to keep a close eye on. And yeah, to me, everything is kind of on track for finishing this pattern off on the daily time frame. So yeah, that is everything I really wanted to kind of discuss in today's video for XRP. There's some volatility and some potential opportunities for trading on the smaller time frames, and we've seen to have a pretty nice break to the upside on the daily time frame. But what do you think about the price action of XRP? Do you think this is that next big run to the 75 to 85 cent level, or do you think this is just another fake out? Let me know in the comments down below, or join us in our free Discord server. We would love to hear from you guys. If you haven't done so already, check out this video right here. It's not one you're going to want to miss.